This U.S. Open update is brought to you by Mountain Land Supply, Zions Bank, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, and Siegfried and Jensen. And now, Real Golf Radio's Bob Casper.
Welcome on in, everybody. It's another edition of JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Happy to be here with you on a Thursday. Thanks for being a part of the program. We have, of course, coming up at in the middle of our show today, it's our Thursday. We're going to be giving away our Hercules Hero of the Week award to a sports volunteer that you know in your neighborhood. And so we have another winner for this week to be able to honor. So stay tuned for that. We've got tons of stuff to jump into and to talk about. First, though, we're going to head out to Pennsylvania. We're going to head out to Oakmont. And Bob Casper joining us, Real Golf Radio. Bob, with the I love seeing big names having hard times at the top of the leaderboard. We always love to see that. I'm sure the members there at Oakmont are over in their corner going, yes, just like we planned. But you also had some low scores out there today. How was day one?
Yeah, day one is still clipping along. And there's some good scores being shot this afternoon. The golf course was prime this morning. It was perfect. There was moisture in the greens. The ball was stopping up pretty good, and but the greens were smoking fast. And we talked to Zach Blair, and he said the greens were just really quick, but the golf course was in perfect condition. And so, yeah, guys are still out there. They're still playing along. It's this golf course you play kind of on a fine edge. And, you hit a few shots kind of marginal and it hurts you big time. And then you're trying to catch up. So it's kind of fun. It's a national championship. It's our U.S. Open, 125th. And this is what you expect out of a U.S. Open.
Historically, the U.S. Open, and we talk about how hard they always are, how important is that first round? And how many guys do you see that have first-round success are able to hold on to it?
Well, there's not a ton of guys that go from leading the golf tournament after the first round. This is kind of a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you just have to keep yourself in touch or in position. Even 4 over par today with Rory and some of the guys, 4 over par is not bad. You get a little upset about it, but 4 over is not bad because you can shoot 1 under par for the next 3 days and still have a chance to win the golf tournament at 1 over par, especially if conditions get tough. But we're going to have rain. We're going to have some rain on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be some bad weather, which is going to make the golf course easier. It'll soften up the greens. It'll soften up the fairways, that kind of thing. And guys will be able to score a little bit better.
Bob, one of the things that we always look at on these lists, and obviously something we'll get to a better idea of kind of middle of tomorrow, and we'll be making our guesses then. But the cut line, you said, hey, because right now there's only, let me see here. Looks like there's only up till 8th place or under par. Then starting at Adam Scott, you've got yourself everybody at least even par. You've got the vast majority of the field that are even par or higher.
Correct.
In those plus scores. What typically is a cut line for a place like Oakmont in the conditions that it's been over the last couple of days? Obviously, not knowing what tomorrow's going to look like. What are we thinking that cut line may be, though?
Well, it could be anywhere. So right now, I look at Zach Blair and
Rory's in that same scoring,
Rory's in that same group. Bryson DeChambeau's in that same group. They're at plus. Bryson's at +3. Rory's at +4. Mm-hmm. Zach's at +4. I would say that I would think by the time it's all said and done, it might be 6 to 8 over par.
Wow.
And it could be higher than that. Just depends on what type of conditions. The weather report is tomorrow. There could be some rain as well, and some electricity. And so if that's the case, it's the golf course is going to get easier with moisture. So that's what you got to understand. The golf course gets easier with moisture. It's easier to hold shots. Greens slow up a little bit. Guys can score better. And these guys are the best players in the world, and they figure it out to get it done. And it's amazing to sit here and watch them play a golf course that's as hard as this golf course is and be able to play it the way they are.
Not a lot of home recognized names, just that household name that everybody knows that are in that top 10. Although I guess Patrick Reed in that albatross that he had today, that puts him in that discussion.
That was pretty
cool. Dietrich was one of those guys at the beginning of the year. We kind of put him in some of those. I think we had talked with you about how he had been one of those guys that'll sneak up and have some decent tournaments here and there.
Yep.
But to put together, I guess JJ Spahn's a guy that I've seen on tour for a lot. I mean, I've seen him play in a lot of tournaments. How do guys crack a nut like an Oakmont like this and shoot a 66 on that first day? Is it just a matter of kind of feeling yourself and kind of everything going right for you in that moment? Is it better to play earlier in the day than it would be a little bit later?
He played this morning. He shot 4 under par his first 9 holes. Okay. And he got to 4 under par, and then on his second 9, he shot even par on his second 9. No bogeys, no birdies, just 9 straight pars. But in those 9 straight pars, he made about a 20-footer for a par. He made about a 15-footer for a par, and he made about an 8-footer for a par. Okay, so that's how you do it. You got to make putts in that 15 to 5 to 15 foot range for pars. Rory made. There's a lot of guys making putts for pars today, but you got to make some longer putts for pars because it's really difficult. And those will help you not make big numbers like double bogeys and that kind of thing. So
when we spoke to you on Tuesday about contenders, guys who had a shot to win this, John Rahm was one of those names you mentioned, and we forget about John because he's not on the PGA Tour, right? Unless you're following Live, but he's been up and down lately. But here he is through 13, 2 under. What is he doing right now that is allowing him to play some of his best golf?
He was right around even par, maybe 1 over par for most of his round. Got back to even par, and on the 4th hole, which was his 13th hole of the day, he started on the back 9 to begin with. But he made an eagle, which is a par 5. He made an eagle there, and that bounced him up to 2 under par. So that's what he just missed about an 8 or a 10-footer for birdie on the next hole, which was the 5th hole, and now he's coming into a stretch that's kind of difficult. He's got 6, 7, 8. 7 is a really difficult hole. 8 is a 300-yard par 3, and then 9 going up the hill at 480 yards. That's a difficult hole as well. So you just gotta. I don't know how you put it, but you gotta hit quality shots. And when you hit quality shots and hit fairways, then you have opportunities. But if you don't hit fairways, you don't. And most of these guys that are right up there on top are guys that are hitting fairways and giving themselves opportunities. Sam Burns is another guy. He's at 3 under. You talked about John Rahm. Jordan Spieth is playing with Rahm, and he's at 1 under. He's a former U.S. Open champion in 2015, and he's been working hard to get back his form after he had surgery on his wrist and had a cyst removed. So it's good to see him right up in the mix. He's tied for 9th currently. And Colin Morikawa, for most part of the day, he was 1 under, but he slipped a little bit. He's +1 right now, but this is a perfect golf course for him as well.
Bob Casper, Real Golf Radio. He and Brian Taylor, of course, every Saturday right here in the mornings on DKSL Sports Zone, breaking it down. And these weeks of the majors, of course, extra special. Who are you guys sitting down with or been able to sit down with to be able to that we're going to be able to take a listen to on Saturday, Bob?
Well, we'll talk to Tony, of course, Tony Finau. We talked with Zach Blair earlier. today after his first round. Try and catch up with Preston, Boyd, Summerhays, and chat with them a little bit. And it'll be a good show. It's going to be fun to talk about what's going on.
In terms of facilities, you guys go around and see a lot of them. I don't know. I mean, like maybe, every major's a little bit different. I mean, obviously the Masters stays the same and everything else rotates around and you get different venues to see. Where does Oakmont kind of stack up? I mean, especially the history that they've got there, but in terms of ease of being able to get around and all those things, what are the things that you like about Oakmont to make it a little bit more special?
Well, it's a big property, but it's pretty easy to get around. You can find your way around this golf course pretty easy. From the front to the back nine, you've got to cross over the Pennsylvania Turnpike. There's two bridges, one going one direction and another one going another direction, as far as allowing people to cross over them and that kind of thing, to get to a different portion of the golf course. Front nine, the majority of it is on the other side of the turnpike, where the back nine, the majority of it is on the side where the clubhouse is. So, it's easy to get around. It's a long ways from the media center, which is down by the driving range, all the way up to the merchandise area, which is where they drop off all the people that are here to watch, all the fans and that kind of thing. Brian and I, we clocked it with our steps and everything, and to hike out there to get my daughter a hat and a T-shirt, it was about 2.5 miles. But you get to watch golf all the way along, and on the way back, you can sit in the bleachers on 8 and to watch guys hit into that green, and then hike up the hill on 9 and that kind of thing. But it's a big property, like I said. It's easy to get around, and when you get up on, it's like when you get up on the 15th tee, you can see the whole golf course. You can see like 17 of the 18 greens on the golf course. So it's really kind of cool. It's really breathtaking to be able to look out over it all.
Bob, we appreciate it. We're looking forward to Saturday's show. You and BT always do a phenomenal job, and have fun out there. And I'm kind of on the side of the Oakmont members. I want to see some guys really suffer out there in that course. I want to see pain. I want to see some. I want to see like give me a +1.
You're
as
a
the
sicko.
Winner. I know. Give me a +1 as the winner.
So this is what it's going to be. Okay, if there's too much weather that comes in, it's going to be somewhere between even and 5 under par. But if it stays dry and it gets a little fiery, then it's going to be over par. It could be 5 over, 6 over, 7 over par.
Wow. So. Give me the heat then, Bob. We appreciate it, man.
That's right.
I love it. Thanks for being with us. We'll chat with you again.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob Casper, everybody.
What is wrong with you?
Look, we have all these other daggum tournaments all year long where it's like, and it's 17 under, here comes your champion.
I want to see more albatrosses like we did today from Patrick Reed.
Hey, you can have your albatrosses on a really tough course. You got one today.
I got to show highlights on Sunday night. I don't want to show.
The highlight is.
I don't want to show Scotty Scheffler trying to get out of every bunker that he runs into to try to win.
He's the only one who made it onto the green in regulation. Like that. That's what I want. Again, this is what the U.S. Open's for. I do love that the members get together and they're like, I just imagine a bunch of hoity-toities getting together and going, standing up at a meeting. You remember the old Hoosiers meeting when they kicked out they want to fire Norman Dale?
Yeah.
And they're all standing up there at like the barbershop. That's what I imagine the Oakmont members doing. Standing up and going, we can't have him come in here and start beating our golf course. Patrick Reed with that smug look on his face. Yeah, we want to beat him up. Come on. It's what the U.S. Open does. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we do, got ourselves a Would You Rather right around the corner. So stay right here with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.